Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today. Let me start off this video by congratulating you because this is the first video on the channel where I don't say salutations once in a video, but actually twice. So have a blessed Friday for dang sure. But anyway, today we're talking about GT7. This video has been in the can for about 3 days now as it was getting approved by an advertiser. That's just how things go behind the scenes. And I was sitting there crossing my fingers like, I know this is news-based, please nothing change, please nothing change. And of course, the situation changes. And PlayStation, along with Polyphony, apologize for what's going on with GT7. So I take a moment, I rewatch the video, I make sure I'm not just sitting here talking about old news, and really what it was a recollection of everything happening with GT7, a discussion on PlayStation's director's cuts and the paid for next gen upgrades, and kind of putting a spotlight on some, I'd say, greedy choices and where they're heading in a live service future. Of course, they're still going to do their open world single player games, but I think it was really important to focus on where PlayStation is trending currently, where they're making some really good moves, but they're making some costly ones, and this was certainly one of them, as GT7 is huge. But I didn't think it would be fair of me to slam them and pretend that this news did not pop up for those who weren't paying attention. So really quickly, I want to go through it, and then the original video will play because I'll be back in the office space with the better microphone and all that good stuff. So they're dropping a new update in the beginning of April. They're also giving you 1 million credits to your account, which is not that much in the scheme of things, but I'm sure players will take it. They're increasing the rewards in the events in the latter half of the world circuits by approximately 100%. You'll see later in the video that they actually slashed the rewards for a lot of the events in this game by more than half, which is crazy to even think about because now they're only increasing a chunk of them, not all of them, by 100%. So they're still kind of nickel and diming you. They're adding in high rewards for completing the circuit experience in all gold and all bronze results. They're also increasing the rewards of online races. Notice how they're not specifying what, which is why I'm also not going to just wait to post this video. I'm like, let me just get it out because honestly, this could get worse. They're also adding a total of 8 new 1-hour endurance race events to missions, which will have higher reward settings. They're increasing the upper limit of non-paid credits in the player's wallets from 20 million to 100 million credits and increasing the quantity of used and legend cars available on offer at any given time. Perhaps more relevant to a lot of you guys out there who are interested in GT7 is going to be what they're adding in a future update, which is increasing the payout value of limited time rewards as they develop as a live service, a big talking point in this video. They're going to add further World Circuit event additions. They're going to add, of course, endurance races to missions, including 24-hour races. They're also adding online time trials and awarding of rewards according to players' difference with the top ranked time. And then they're making it so, like you could in past GT games, sell cars. You'll see a lot more of this throughout the video, of course, but I just wanted to stitch this in right here in the beginning for all of you to see. So with that, take great care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next clip. Peace out. And before we begin that, a word from our sponsor. When Narvatech contacted me about the NS120 Video Capture 1, I was immediately interested because, honestly, I've used the same video capture technology for well over a decade, and I thought to myself, it's been a while since we've seen a true competitor enter the space. So I entertained it. I said, let me try the device out, let me see what it's all about, and then we can go about a sponsorship if I do like it. And I gotta say, I was impressed after testing the Narvatech NS120 Video Capture 1. Number one, it's the easy-to-use setup. You just take this NS120 USB device, plug it into the top of your computer, take the HDMI from your favorite video game console, plug it into that, and boom, fire up your favorite video game capture software like OBS as you're seeing here, and it's immediately hooked up. This can capture up to 4K, it can capture up to 120 FPS, and for someone like me who's in the content creation space and needs travel options, this is perfect for that. And I gotta say, I'm mighty impressed. It also comes with an XSplit key, so you can actually set up right away and begin streaming. So it's a perfect beginner's package if you're looking to get into what I do for a living, and I do highly recommend the Narvatech NS120 Video Capture 1, link at the top of the description down below. Okay, so if you haven't been paying attention to Gran Turismo 7, you may not know, but this game reviewed generally well amongst critics. It was very much enjoyed as a solid racing game, and let's make that clear off the bat before a bunch of PlayStation fans flood my comment section going Xbox as I make a Sly Cooper video fanboying about the idea of it coming back. Let's make it very clear that the game here, the core, is quite good. The core of the game is good. A lot of people are a big fan of what Gran Turismo 7 has to offer. I haven't played it. It was a lot for me to play and enjoy Forza Horizon 5, but certainly I can understand now after that game what a good racing game is. So I was keeping my eye on Gran Turismo 7 and watching as the world crumbled, because now when you look at the user reviews, we're at a mighty low 1.6 at the time of recording this video, which is absolutely insane. So what I want to do in this video is for those of you who are like me and are going, racing games, I'm going to go play other action games here. Yeah, this video is for you to collect everything that's happened that has brought PlayStation and Polyphony to this point right here, right now. Let's start off with really shining a light on what's wrong with always online games. So you buy your game, 70 bucks, 60 bucks. All you want to do is go home, put that disc in the console or use the application on your dashboard and fire it up. It's all yours now, right? Wrong. This game went offline for 30 hours, and while it was offline because of maintenance, which went on way longer than they had originally announced, which was supposed to be a couple of hours, you could not play the game. This is just a general issue with modern gaming, that with them always being online, with servers turning off, you eventually lose the very thing you paid for. Polyphony posted a letter to fans saying, I want to explain what happened in this update. Immediately before the release of update 1.07, we discovered an issue where the game would not start properly in some cases on product versions for the PS4 and PS5. This was a rare issue that was not seen during the tests on the development hardware or the QA sessions prior to the release. But in order to prioritize the safety of the save data of the users, we decided to interrupt the release of update 1.07 and make a corrected 1.08. This is the reason for the delay. My sincere apologies for the late report to everyone. In Gran Turismo 7, I would like to have users enjoy lots of cars and races even without microtransactions. At the same time, the pricing of cars is an important element that conveys their value and rarity, so I do think it's important to be linked with the real-world prices. Look, I'm just gonna pause there. Please stop. Please stop. That is not true at all. Okay, let's keep reading. I want to make Gran Turismo 7 a game where you can enjoy a variety of cars lots of different ways. And if possible, I would like to try to avoid a situation where a player must mechanically keep replaying certain events over and over again. We'll talk about it extensively in a moment, but people have found out a way to farm credits in Gran Turismo 7 without even playing the game.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
There's still more in this letter. Let's keep going, where it says, we will in time let you know the update plans for additional content, additional race events, and additional features that will constructively resolve this. It pains me that I can't explain the details regarding this at the moment, but we plan on continuing to revise GT7 so that many players can enjoy the game. We would really appreciate it if everyone could watch over the growth of Gran Turismo 7 from a somewhat longer term point of view. And in the meantime, while this is all going on, Grid Legend says it's a video game with cars that you can play right now. And hey, look, opportunity knocks. Who's going to answer? Grid answered. Forza doesn't really have to answer at this moment in time. They have their player base. Their game is thriving, and not every studio has to really punch down. I actually got to respect what Grid did here. You know, just saying to people, look, like, this is ridiculous that this is a problem in our own genre. It's a racing game. And I'm not sitting here acting like on a mechanical level it's simple, but the design level should be obvious. Make game, go race, earn reward for player. That's all it's got to be. But instead, for those who haven't been paying attention, it is loaded with microtransactions, and the progression has been drastically shot down in recent updates. So when it first came out, people felt there were some grindy elements there, and they were really pushing you in a direction to pay for stuff, which I personally have the belief that should never be the case in a game where you pay $60, $70 for. That's it. They've got your money. Make it worth it. Budget your game properly where that will be enough, and that anything additive is purely just cosmetic. But this game's selling cars, car parts, everything in its microtransaction shop. And we'll talk about how they're delivering that, but let's go into pricing next, where this comes from Video Game Chronicles, where they write, according to the Discord user DDM, the following races have had their payouts changed in the newest update, where you can see that the first two updates have had an increase from 5,000 credits to 70,000. So you're like, pause, Matty, that's not too bad. Not bad at all. Yeah, great. But then you look at the rest of the races, and every single race below it has been slashed by almost half in the terms of the credit rewards, which again is quite predatory because they're trying to push you towards the microtransactions. These are roulette spins. This is where you can get a ton of different cars, car parts, or credits. And as you watch the videos online of people doing these roulette spins, these are so painfully, obviously rigged to give you credits and nothing else. There is a percentage chance you'll see that you will get a car or a car part. But for the most part, I was just clicking through video after video after video after video and just watching people pull credits and nothing more. And that is honestly the worst, that you already have a pretty aggressively monetized game in a $60 to $70 product. Okay, kind of bad in the first place. Then your monetization system is rigged to get people to spend more money in a game of chance. You can pay for cars. We'll talk about that in a moment as well. But the roulette system here is actually hilarious. So let's keep going. There are packs of credits that you can pay for in this game. 4 specifically available on the PlayStation Store. For 100,000 credits, you have to pay $2.50. For 250,000 credits, you pay $5. For 750,000 credits, you pay $10. And then there's a leap. You go from that to 2 million credits at $20. There isn't a single million credit option here. And then you look at the price of some of the cars that were in GT Sport for $5 or $3 a piece, and then you look at them in Gran Turismo 7 with their current monetization model, and they're going for $40 a pop. And that's because of the way that things are based in the actual microtransaction setup, where if you wanted to have, say, a million credits, you would have to do 750 and then 250,000, which would bring you to $15, or you could spend $20 for 2 million credits. So the game is geared towards pushing you to spend more and more money because you can directly buy these cars. Now, according to the director, it is very important to have the microtransactions linked to the actual car's value because that inherently gives it value. That's a very PR way of justifying high price tags. And you can tell as you're reading through the note, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt here. You can tell reading it, there's a line that's trying to be walked here of, I understand PlayStation and racing fans, I get it, but also trying to appease to PlayStation and walk that line as well of not really going completely against what they want. That's why I put a lot of the blame at Sony's feet as well, because it's very clear in that write-up where most times it's the director talking to the fans that it looks like they're talking to overhead as well. And again, I get it. I do a lot of Xbox coverage here. A lot of people are going to think I'm sitting in Castle Forza with my arms folded, my legs crossed, my golden throne here going, I enjoy my open world racing games with no microtransactions that get in my way. And honestly, yeah, Forza should be like, hey, come over here, come enjoy this open world racing game. But Gran Turismo 7, let's not knock it. It offers something that a lot of people are looking for, like a very tight circuit-based racer. You know, for as much as I enjoy Forza Horizon 5, this is an open world racing game that does put you in a more arcadey driving setting. You can go simulation-based if you want. You can get Alpine crafted if you want, but there's something that's accessible for idiots like me who know jack diddly do about cars, and that's great. But Gran Turismo 7 is a little bit more hardcore, and it has a legacy on PlayStation. That's the other thing. This was a slam dunk, much like we talked about on Defining Duke on the channel here throughout most of 2021. When we were saying Forza Horizon 5 was going to arrive and dominate on site, it did just that. Racing games are quietly one of the most played genres in video games. And it's because they're not the sexy pick, right? It's not your Elden Ring. It's not your Horizon. It's none of those games, right? It's not Halo. It's a racing game that's doing one thing very well. And when it's doing that one thing very well and you have other systems that are costing you money getting in the way of that, people's patience are going to be worn down. And that's all the more obvious when you look at this system here where the rewards have been slashed, the prices have gone up. So now you got to farm more to the point where, yes, really, people have found a way to farm in Gran Turismo 7 without playing the game. According to VGC, this is by using a remote play feature on PlayStation and a simple script that makes it possible to have the game run the same race over and over, generating millions of credits, all without the player having to touch the controller. One user who claims to have used the exploit has claimed that the script is generating him 15 million credits per day, which if purchased from Gran Turismo 7's controversial microtransaction store would cost around $120. Look, there is no bigger compliment and insult at the same time in video games than people liking your game enough to have a computer play it for you effectively with a simple script, right? A computer plays the game for them, like they like it enough to go to this effort, but then dislikes the system enough to not put their hands on it and have the game farm for them. So when they come back, they can go, all right, I got the money to do whatever I want here. The fact that it's gone this far says all that needs to be said. I can sit here and rant all day. The fact that people are developing AFK strategies so they can go to work their 9 to 5, come back and see, oh, look at that. I got 20 million credits. Okay, cool. I don't have to play the game to do that. I just want to race. Like, it speaks to the strengths of the game at the same time as slamming exactly what's destroying this game. And look, this just isn't a little egg on the face of PlayStation, you know, an isolated incident, nothing to really worry about. I'm not going to sit here and blow it out of proportion, but this is adding to a growing list for them. We can look at Gran Turismo 7 and go, oh, well, this is a one-time thing. That's certainly not going to happen again. But then I look at the other actions that we've seen in the past, the closing down of the PlayStation storefronts and then reopening them. For example, the more relevant one to a lot of you out there would be, hey, charging you $10 to upgrade to a console for a game you already paid for. I don't know. That type of stuff rubs me the wrong way. When you combine that with an incoming subscription service that could definitely be overpriced if it's not offering the right amount of value, that's a very delicate thing to dive into. We'll see if that ends up being the case. Then you look at Gran Turismo 7. Then you look at the next-gen upgrades that they're making you pay for in the face of smart delivery, in the face of just being a market leader. And it's not a great look, all in all. They can do better than this. They definitely can. And again, as I mentioned at the beginning of all this is why I want to put PlayStation on a bit of a watch. And the same thing I did with Xbox. Xbox is going all in on co-op live service. I don't remember, outside of their recently announced Flintlock game that they're doing with the Ashen developers, the last time that they put a direct single-player, big-budget game day one on Game Pass, and it's because they never have. They always go for co-op. They always go for live service because that grows their service in general, right? You can tell a friend, hop on the Game Pass. You don't got to pay the full price. Let's play this co-op game together. And Microsoft's subscription service grows. Great to see, right? But then you start to see the pollution that effectively service games cost, because we like single player games, many of us. And then when you look at PlayStation, who's toiling away on this Spartacus service, what if, as they're driving home these live service elements, I think of something like Fallout 76, right? Where they give you a currency, atoms, every month for spending time on the subscription service. What if this is the game plan for PlayStation down the line is, hey, let's put these aggressive microtransactions, this subscription service, and it won't matter to the people who are deeply ingrained in our ecosystem. And they'll do the hand-waving stuff that a lot of big fans do and go, just subscribe, right? Let's not rule this type of stuff out. I know it's theorizing. I know it's speculation. We don't know a lot about the service at this moment in time, but these perks are something to be very aware of because this is an aggressive microtransaction system. So that's all I've really got to say on what's happening here with GT7. A real sad moment here for a great racing game franchise. Hopefully they can get this thing back on the road. That was an unintentional pun, but I'll take it. And they can start to figure things out and make progression much more fair. And if they got to keep microtransactions, that's fine. Again, but Forza has microtransactions. Like, let them be the example. They have them. They just let you progress and do things your way, and they don't get in your way. And in fact, that encourages more spending than what Sony and Polyphony tried to accomplish here. So let me know what you're thinking about Gran Turismo 7 in the comments down below. Have you picked this game up? Is it as egregious as it really looks? Fire away down below. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below, along with my Patreon. Do consider supporting that as it fuels all of the content we create here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.